Hi Leo, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your, this is going to be general messages for the month of March. So I'm going to be doing your astrology, and then I'm going to have it followed up by some tarot. I'm just going to be pulling some basic energies. I'm still going to be doing my weekly, but I thought this would be kind of fun, something different. And I really like the energy that we're going into. Finally, things have sort of been marinating right now with how Mars showing up on the 3rd until the 23rd of April. For you guys, it's going to be happening in your 11th house. Wherever we have this happening, any of the signs, wherever any of the signs have it, we're all going to be feeling this sense of sort of feeling like we're catapulted in that area. Okay. So for you guys, 11th house has to do with goals, gains, your friends, entrepreneurial activities. Where do you see yourself going in your life? People that you are involved with, who do you associate with when you're doing business, right? And this really is very profound right now. It only happens every 2 years. And Mars has been feeling super stuck, like January, February, I've been feeling really stuck. So we're going to finally feel this release, this opening up. And remember, Mars is the Emperor energy in tarot, right? So it's about fresh path, new perspective. Come on, let's go. And as I always say, Mars is very, very concerned about us being on our rightful path. What is the right thing for us, right? If this isn't working, then what is, right? So it's this sort of up to this point, Leo, you may have been feeling that you were trying to work out negotiations. Maybe you were trying to work out, having to do with business. Maybe you were trying to work out that relationship, working, and nothing was really happening. It was like, and it was because Mars has been in a bad space. He's been very, very shadowed. So now, come the 3rd until the 23rd of April, he's finally going to be out, and we're going to be able to feel the changes that we need to make if we're not already in the process of making them, figuring out what we need to adopt or adapt, anything like that. The shifts are going to be all about, though, what's going to ultimately serve you in that 11th house of where it is that you're going. Awesome energy for networking. So those of you who are maybe trying to open a business or get your name out there, whatever it is, really good energy with that Mars in the 11th. So now on the 4th, 5th, right, of March, we have Jupiter and Mercury conjunct in Aquarius in your 7th house of partnership. So this could have to do with marriage partnerships, business partnerships, but I really always say like any close bonded connection that you have. So it could really even be like a very close family member, a very close friend. But having this energy, Jupiter and Mercury conjunct in Aquarius, Jupiter is all about luck and expansion. Mercury is about communication and figuring things out. And so we're going to have this blending of the two in Aquarius, which is all about the future. Okay. So lots of information flowing right now, lots of luck. Jupiter is all about luck, synchronicities. Jupiter, really good again for business ideas, figuring things out again in that bonded partnership. But I'm just going to say bonded partnership because you might not be in an intimate partnership. You may be in an intimate partnership, not have business, whatever. So apply to your situation, as you see fit. But on the whole, these couple of days tend to be, despite all of this energy that I'm talking about, pretty quiet, which is really nice and fairly content, a pretty chill vibe. It's going to be pretty serene, but this is likely sort of like the calm before the next step of expansion. And I'm purposely not saying the calm before the storm because it's not, that sounds very negative and it's not. This is really, really good. What's happening right now. There is just this collective, I've just been saying like, it's like collectively we've been stuck in this inhale position and we're finally going to be exhaling. We're finally going to be realizing what needs to be released. So finally going to be realizing a lot of this stuff, but with support and ease. So there's going to be this kind of like low-key growth going on. There's going to be a low-key vibe in your poison, your tolerance in dealing with things, the reality of something in that area of partnership. New people you meet give you faith and trust. You can gain from new exchanges. In a way that can end up helping you with any issues that you're dealing with in the 7th house. All right. So it depends on where you're at and what's transiting your personal chart. But this could be for some of you, 7th house, right? So it could have to do with marriage. Maybe you're meeting a new counselor to help you work through some issues. Or if you are in this space of trying to get pregnant as a couple, right, in your marriage. Maybe you meet a new doctor who can help you get pregnant, right? If you've been having issues, figure out, what's going on there, and get whatever help. Maybe if you're in a business partnership, you're getting some sort of outside help, maybe a new accountant or a lawyer or somebody to come in and step in and help you out. Now, for some of you, maybe it's even, in a business, it could be business as well as marriage partnerships. Maybe you need to get a new real estate agent or a new realtor, right? If this is something that's an issue within the connection. Others of you, maybe you're getting a lawyer to dissolve a marriage that you're really unhappy in, once and for all. But it's like there's no question. Everybody understands that there is unhappiness here. It's like nobody is going to be sitting there dumbfounded. This is, if you resonate with it like that, it's no secret that things have been challenging in the area of partnership for a long time. If this is not the energy where things are going to suddenly out of nowhere pop up. That's already been happening. Okay, so don't worry about any surprises. I don't want you to be concerned about this. Or, and meeting anybody who can even mediate any kind of issue having to do with anything with the seventh house matters. But you're going to feel throughout this, you're going to feel very introspective. This is what I'm saying. It's very interesting. It'll give a lot of interesting energies this month. You're going to be feeling very thoughtful and very introspective, which is very unusual for a Leo fire sign, right? You're going to be kind of focused on evaluating what you've learned from the past and what you want to do in the future. And some of you may think, really be thinking about tapping back into, because of the Jupiter aspect, tapping into like maybe your religion, your faith, any sort of philosophical concepts that get you through challenging times, or that just sort of make you feel better, that you fall back on to help you put things in perspective. A lot of you are going to be in a space of making really solid moral judgments for yourself, but I can't express this enough. It's going to be in a very like self-supportive way, where it's going to be more, it's going to be less of, I'm not letting anybody treat me like that anymore, to it being more of a softening, where it's, I'm realizing now that maybe this partnership is really, we've grown apart. We're both good people, but we've just grown apart. Do you know what I mean? You sense that difference, where it's like, it's just a level of acceptance if that's the case. Or, oh my gosh, what have I been thinking? My partner's amazing. Or, any of that, where you're realizing the other side of something. So there's going to be a lot of weighted ethical considerations while deepening or shifting your personal philosophy about what it means to be in partnership, for good or bad. It's all going to be ultimately good, but you know what I mean, right? Where it's shifting it deeper into, or maybe in a healthy way, shifting out of something, even if it's finally coming to terms with just what really matters to you, and then assessing if your needs are actually being met, in this connection with this person, in this relationship. And if there's any underlying restlessness and urges, it can definitely be stirring inside of you, within you, to make this change, that would end up giving you freedom from this feeling, giving you freedom from feeling like your shoes are on the wrong feet. This isn't going to work. I'm not sure about this, right? Now, for some of you, it could be just because it's Jupiter, it could be an itch to travel, mental travel, even taking on a new area or approach of study, but it would be maybe in a way to the extent that maybe you would be trying to fix your relationship. So maybe getting some sort of like self-help books, or just trying to educate yourself further, maybe in a business, if you are in business with somebody, but you're ready to travel and you're ready to move forward in something. So it's either going to work or it's not going to work. And if it's going to work, you want it to be even better. So you may have like, this itch to just learn more of something, or learn something differently. But you're not going to want to stay where you are. There needs to be this element of expansion, which is what you need to understand about this. It's going to happen regardless. So you might as well go with the energies, right? And I do want to say, the people, then this is for everyone, the people who are probably going to experience March with challenge will be people who are just completely resistant to change, because what's happening here is we're closing out a chapter, right? We all are, the collective, okay? And so that chapter is either going to be made better so that we can move forward together, or that chapter needs to be closed. Now, what side of that you fall on, you just want to make sure that you're doing the thing that's ultimately best for you, and not based in your fears, and not based in your insecurities and your vulnerabilities, right? Or your ego, even worse yet, right? So you have to understand that there's an end. So it's like finishing that last page of the book that you really love. You feel it's ending and you don't want it to end. A lot of us are going to be in that space, but then we get to the end and we realize, like, okay, that there's no more to say here. That's it. It's done. That's like a really good, I feel like, simile for it. It really is kind of like that. So depending on where you're at in your relationship, but just try to stay open. I'm sorry for going on about that, but I think it's important to understand that if you're in a space where you really don't want the change, you really kind of love how everything is, and you want everything to stay status quo. The thing is, the energy is going to come in and make the shifts anyway. So better for you to be on board and see the reality of what's going on and how good is it for you. Now, on the 15th, the 10th to the 15th of March, we have what I'm calling the mystical days, right? And this is where the sun is going to be conjunct both Venus and Neptune in Pisces, and it's in your 8th house. So the 8th house, very, very deep house. It's a big house, the 8th house. It has to do with intimacy, our partner's money in relation to our money. It's not just your partner's money. It's how we share money, how we show up as a we. And a lot, there's going to be a lot of that for Leos this month. How do you show up as a we in partnerships and relationships? So your partner's money compared to your money, what matters to your partner, what matters to you, communication. Do you both have the same ideas of intimacy? In the same way, it also does have to do with inheritance, 8th house, the stock market, any sort of money made from the stock market, anything that's cyclical. So insurance payouts, any sort of payout from any kind of investment. Okay. That's anything that's cyclical, that is 8th house. With these planets, though, a very romantic and dreamy edge is going to be like really sort of all around you. But you do want to just be careful of deception. I always say that when Neptune's in the house, but this is a really good time for taking some time off if you can, to just, I say, this is a good, let's go float on clouds and daydreams, take a vacation, try to find a renewed sense of serenity in your life if things have been really stressful. The pressure that you're feeling, though, regarding this area, meaning like endings and beginnings, and maybe you're settling a divorce settlement, maybe your marriage is ended. I mean, there could be, again, 8th house is about endings and beginnings. So you might be feeling this sort of pressure that could give you some anxiety. It's not at all unfounded, though. That's the thing. It's going to be very internal, right? Because it's being in Pisces, it's water, it's internal. Pisces is the landlord of the 12th house of the subconscious. So you're going to be feeling this very deep, but it's not unfounded. There is a person or a situation in your life right now that you're dealing with where either you or they are unsure, either you or they are insecure, or you or they are being deceptive. And the thing is, it's like, well, you're going to know if you're the one being deceptive, obviously. Or maybe not. I mean, maybe you think that you speak in your own truth and you really don't want to look at the reality of something, who knows, we're humans after all, who the hell knows, right? But you could feel this internally, but almost like it's something that you can't really identify. Again, this is very smoke and mirror energy. For that reason, it's very dreamy, it's very ethereal. We can easily get caught up in the beauty of something, yet there's going to be this nagging something that is going to be troubling you underneath the surface. But at the same time, there's going to be this recognition, right? That there's this version of a reality that you're envisioning that may be unrealistic or exaggerated, and plans that you're discussing and schemes that you are discussing as well, that are presented to you right now, may not happen. They may not work out. And it's like you're feeling this, even though that's not what's happening. And I'm not even going to say it's that it's not that you don't trust it. You're just energetically feeling like, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust what is being presented to me right now. And part of that for many of you is going to be like, do I really even want this? Am I getting caught up in the moment? So only you're going to know that. But externally, even despite all of this energy, do the best that you can to just be super considerate of the people around you, hang out with people who make you feel good. And I know that sounds ridiculous, because shouldn't we do that all the time? Well, sometimes we can't. Eighth house energy could be like battling something out, having to do with divorce. Well, if you're in that space, try to take a little vacation from your ex. Try to take a little vacation from your lawyer. Whatever might be stressing you out in that area, if it's that conversation that you're not sure if you can trust about who's going to be paying for what, or whose responsibilities are going to be what in the relationship, whatever it is, just try not to, within this energy, try not to have any heavy duty discussions. It is, though, a good energy to soft sell something that you have on your mind to either a business partner or an intimate partner, just somebody in your life. It is a good soft sell energy. I do have to say that. But again, guys, this Pisces stellium, this is a really interesting one, because the dynamic between the inner and outer planets are going to be giving you the feeling like something needs to be released. Again, going back to this idea of inhaling and exhaling. It's like you've been inhaling in this situation having to do with this relationship, having to do with this business circumstance that you're dealing with, right? Whatever it is. You've been inhaling for so much. Now it's time to exhale, even if you don't feel ready to. And it's like, really, it is like the credits are rolling, in the eighth house of intimacy, endings and beginnings. And this is that me versus we energy, you know? And so it's really about getting in touch with, what needs to be released and updated in this area, or released altogether, right? Now, at the same time, while we have those energies going on, on March 13th, we do have the new moon in Pisces, and this is also in your eighth house. We have a lot of eighth house action going on for you this month, Leo. So this new moon in Pisces is marking the beginning of a new cycle, right? The Aquarius new moon cycle is ending. The new moon Pisces new moon cycle is beginning, and this helps us to really get in touch with the positive Pisces energy, which really is about allowing ourselves to take a leap of faith. But more than anything, what I like about this, especially because it's in your eighth house, accepting imperfections in ourselves and in others as a different kind of perfection. Starting anything that requires imagination and visualization skills, right? And with this energy in your eighth house, this is really good energy for business partnerships, any sort of investments, uh, making investments, new investments, starting a new cycle in something, starting a new cycle. This is a really good energy, actually, to blend your energies of me versus we. Really nice energy to get married, as long as you guys are having all of the right conversations, or to dissolve a marriage, separate the me versus we, or bring it together. Pick a side, right? But it's not going to be a lot of floundering in the in between. It's either going to be together or it's not going to be together. So I do like that. Definitely make sure you consciously put some time aside, though, to take care of you in all of this, because this is a very taxing energy. And so you want to make sure that you are infusing all of the activity with something that's rejuvenating for you, and just doing a lot of sharing with people that you care about is really well aspected here, for sure. Now, this is a very potent energy with this Pisces energy, so you have the chance to make really important changes in your lives concerning these eighth house matters. Again, me versus we, that investment, new cycle within your relationship, intimate life. There's going to be this balancing going on within you, though, wanting something to work out, fearing it might not, but hanging in there nonetheless. So, Leo, if you could find a new kind of beauty or value in that relationship, in that situation that happened in the past, or even in some kind of investment that you're looking to make right now that you were a little trepidatious about, you might want to revisit this, because this can really be a very beautiful energy. Now, this new moon is especially creative and romantic. and it's in alignment with Venus and Neptune. Now, what I like about Venus and Neptune right now, they're approaching this conjunction in Pisces, and that's going to be happening from the 24th to the 29th. And the major bodies are direct here. So this is going to be contributing to a feeling of moving forward in this area. Ceres is conjunct Chiron in Aries at the when this new moon hits. So the growth and healing right now, which is really, really nice. And it's not by ourselves though, right? Because it's in, well, not you, it's you guys are not going to be by yourselves because it's in that 8th house. So it's going to lend to a sense that you're growing and you're helping each other through sensitivities to vulnerabilities. Just don't be surprised if the healing is found in the release of something that's no longer meant to be on your path, right? So it's definitely going to be happening for some of you. And a lot of you are going to be like, oh, thank goodness, woman. Thank you for saying that because I really want that out, but it may be a little more challenging for others of you. Now, on March 20th, we have the equinox. We have the astrological new year, one of the most important days of the year. Sun is entering Aries a little early this year. And for you, it's happening in your 9th house, Leo. You are fire and you are naturally creative and dynamic, very extroverted, very expressive. You guys love to be the center of attention. So it's likely that what you've been going through in the pandemic has like made you reach the end at this point. Lots of Leos are really, it's taking their toll, right? You guys are very, very social. So it's really difficult to be like, no, you can't be with your people, you know? You will be feeling an especially strong urge to just get out there and be with people and meet new people and try sharing your feelings with somebody close to you, somebody you trust. Um, you know what, Leo, honestly, I'm just looking at the energies here. Let yourself have a good cry and a scream and fit if you have to somebody that you really trust. They're going to understand. Throw pillows, punch the bed, punch the couch, whatever it is. You feel very strongly about most things in your life. And in this spring equinox is a perfect time to start something new that you can share with others, if not the world. So just allow that release valve to happen. That will allow you to refocus, and this is a beautiful energy to let that entertainer in you out, right? Because you guys are the entertainers of the zodiac, even if only, in a limited or, maybe even different way, right? Because not all Leos are in the entertainment industry, right? It's just about putting yourself out there. Additionally, though, a more open mind and a very balanced approach to disagreements that you've been experiencing and open communication is really going to go a long way for you in this energy. You might feel a little bit misunderstood and get a little snappy about it. Again, do things to blow off that steam. Work out a little harder, get lost in that book or film. Even better would be to go on vacation if you can. Really nice for Leos to do right now if you can. Not everybody can. Okay, so moving forward, we have the 24th to the 29th, Venus and Sun conjunct Aries in your 5th house. So 5th house has to do with falling in love and romance. It has to do with creativity, entrepreneurial efforts, your children, the act of sex. It's the house of fun. It's your house. You guys are the landlord of that, of the 5th house, right? So you're going to have a lot of and this is going to sound very corny, but for real, like a burning passion, right? These feelings of love and affection. You're going to be feeling, you're just going to be feeling like the veil is very thin between what you're feeling is fair and truth and not fair and not truthful. And this is going to be very apparent to you in any romantic connections you have, situations going on, either having to do with your children or about children, maybe about having children, any sort of entrepreneurial efforts, anything having to do with creativity. Now, the Sun conjunct Venus transit brings love. It brings peace and harmony and beauty with a focus on your love relationships and all of these beautiful things. So this is a really good time for seeking pleasure through sex for those of you who are engaged with somebody, amusement, entertainment, partying, but also just for relaxing in comfort, just chilling out even at home, having fun with your kids. For those of you who have kids, I like this energy for bargain hunting as well, Leo. For you guys, go for that bargain, shop, decorate, right? It's a good energy for decorating. Just remember that Venus also does have a reputation for being kind of lazy and indulgent. So partying and spending is well aspected here, but you don't want to be too gluttonous, or, that sun can certainly burn anything positive happening here. Especially since the sun is your ruler, it won't be difficult for you to get swept up in that passionate situation, or overspending on that hobby, or overspending on your kids. You just want to be a little careful. And then on the 28th, we have the full moon in Libra in your third house of communication, short distance travel, siblings, learning, online communications, doing business, signing on the dotted line. It's where you engage with other, right? So again, another me versus we energy. So you're going to be re-examining relationships in the full moon, emotions, Libra, relationships, third house, communication. Okay. So this could have, again, anything to do with a business partnership, siblings, anybody where you have this very close bonded relationship. I've been calling this the Passover and last summer supper full moon, out of bondage, out of the promised land kind of energy. It really is, because there's going to be this very strong need for balance and harmony. That's what happens with Libra. But but we have to call it what it is. Can also happen with Libra is a little analysis paralysis. Well, we might be totally clear on how we feel about something, and you guys would be feeling this in your third house, right? Having everything to do with the third house, thinking that you're totally clear, but being able to see every single side of a situation. And that what happens there is can end up getting analysis paralysis. So just a little be careful of that. And you might not want to call out the elephant in the room. You'd rather just keep the peace having to do with the situation. But you really do have to share whatever you're feeling, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to be who you really are, despite of what's expected of you in whatever third house situation this is, right? Who expects what from you regarding like your online presence, doing business, signing papers, situation with siblings, extended family, learning, anything like that. Okay. So that's what we have going on for you there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop down the screen, and I'm going to pull some cards. So let's get right into, I'm just going to be pulling a general Celtic horse spread for our Leo friends. And let's just see what comes up. Again, I will be doing my regular tarot where I separate relationship and career and all that. I figured I would throw the tarot in with the astrology. Ooh, we have a tower reversed here. Ace of Cups, tower. Tower reverse is much, much better in the reverse than in the upright. The cups in the reverse as your challenge. So I'm going to pull a moon oracle. So coming into this energy, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So Leo, I'm getting that you really tried your damnedest to put your patience and energy into something. It's about hard work paying off, being patient. It's really in a space of just being super patient. Lots of potential success that you saw here for that relationship, that job opportunity, whatever it is. But here you were like, all right, I can't give up. I'm almost there. My future self is going to thank me. I can't give in yet. I have to keep going and see what happens. Right. And the situation right now is we have the beautiful Ace of Cups. So very nice. Let's see what's going on here. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Ooh, I'm just going to put that right there. So the Ace of Cups is a situation right now. So this is all about water. So, love and key emotional events, fertility, pregnancy, prioritizing parenting. This could also indicate falling in love, being offered a new job, if relationships that you've been in already, this does indicate very strong love and support. If you're single, this can also indicate spiritual growth, very creative time, something that matters a lot to you coming to fruition. So I really like it because it's new. Ace is brand new. And that's being crossed by the Tower in the reverse. And so I'm going to say actually that this is being complemented, right? Because it's always the cross a compliment. In the reverse, it's about feeling like you averted a disaster. But at the same time, you're very concerned about security. You're feeling very oppressed in a situation, and you're also fearing change. But it's also about averting a disaster. So some of you, I just want to pull a card here to see if this indicates, oh, we have the Strength reverse, clarifying going from the Seven of Pentacles to the Ace of Cups. Yeah, yeah, strength energy. So strength energy reverse indicates abuse of power, fear, discord, self-sabotage. So you might have been dealing with somebody like that, or you might have even been realizing, like, oh man, if I keep staying in this as I am, like here you are, Seven of Pentacles, patient, patient, patient. You're like, if I keep staying in this, I'm really actually going to end up sabotaging myself in this situation. And is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And you making a decision to sort of just go, start something new, release that, whatever it is, take a chance on a new direction, going in a new direction. Even though, even though you're afraid, you're feeling like whatever you would have ended up experiencing in the long term within that business connection, that friendship, that relationship, it's worse than if you were to just make the changes now. We have in the crowning energy, we have the Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles is like a very collaborative energy, success. I always call this the architect card because it's like you come in and you draw the plans for what you want and you give it to the architect, the contractor, and then they build it. So it's figuring things out, you know. This is about reward, right? Working and like it's putting in due diligence, right? Taking the high road in a situation and there being value for it, allowing your talents to shine. For some of you, this can indicate a successful launch of a business, home improvements, the sale of a home. Just be careful of others around you right now, bringing any sort of like nasty, negative, like jealous energy that because things are going to be going good for you right now. And for a lot of you, it'll be the kind of energy where you know how there are some people in our lives, and we all have a person here or there like it, where they're there 100% for us when we're down on our luck or we're not feeling really good about things, and they're there for us. They're a really good friend. But the second things start going better, or we start making decisions that honor our sense of self, suddenly it's like crickets. They don't call back, or you find out from other people that they're actually not as supportive as you initially thought they were. So you're collabing here, you're building. You've been doing something very diligently, Leo. You've been showing up energetically in a good way, and you're going to get the reward here. And now it's a matter of taking that somewhere, which is really good. So this could be a very benefic partnership that you are taking on, is having to do with business, or you meeting somebody new in the Ace of Cups energy, and you guys then getting to that space of, come on, we're going to do this life together, whatever it is. So but I almost feel like you sort of still have your feet in two camps, like one foot in the past of something and one foot in the present. We have the Five of Swords as the foundation energy. So the Five of Swords is a clash of your desires with the reality that you're living. It's like you very much want to do something. So for some of you, you may have just like mentally left something, or at least mentally realized something here. But there is definitely this clash and these tensions and ongoing conflict. And it's like this thing, though, as I always say, you're not going to win it with the Five of Swords. You're just not. Unfortunately, and I know a lot of people don't like when I say this, but the best thing you could do is just kind of leave with some grace with your anger and your disappointment, because you can't fix them. You can't make that situation be anything other than how it's being presented to you, because it's not your stuff to fix. And that's the thing. You could yell, you could scream, you could try all of the tactics and strategies out there. Nothing's going to work because it's not your stuff to fix. So representing you, we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, for sure. I mean, very emotional time for you, Taurus and Gemini energy. Very unpredictable roller coaster energy ahead for you here. Highs and lows, sudden truths coming out. or underlying conflicts being exposed, right? It could show up in a couple of ways. And depending on where you're at in this situation, for some of you, it's going to be a relief. For others of you, it's going to be super confusing. But wait for things to settle before you make like a huge move. Now, some of you may be this actual energy where you feel right now just so determined and driven. You're feeling very forthright, very in your power, and you're really ready to fight for what you believe in. And you might not like, the real energy because this is in your position, right? But this does tell me you might just be bored, in something, in that business situation, in that relationship, in that friendship, where you want to just move on. So it can easily be the kind of energy where you're inciting arguments, creating drama, and you just want to get out of the situation because you really don't want to reconcile. You just really don't, and it's not like, but I do, and I have to say that I'm not saying this because I'm speaking to you. I'm saying it because we have the strength reverse and we have the tower reverse. I feel like you're so frustrated because there's this disparity between what it is that you really want and what your reality is. It's like almost like it's based in frustration. Now, the energy of somebody external to you that's going to be influencing you is this Five of Cups energy. And this is loss and leaving and sadness. And, obviously, this can be a relationship, friendship, maybe somebody you were friends with, somebody you were in a relationship with, somebody you worked with. It could even be a financial situation that ended, before everybody felt ready for it. Because this is an energy external to you that's going to be impacting you. So this could be the kind of situation where you're like, almost like, well, what did you expect? Of course, this is falling apart. I've been talking to you till I'm blue in the face and nothing has been penetrating. The changes haven't been made. I can't keep doing this anymore, and so, but they're in this space of sadness, and this is difficult because they're going to be focused on trying to assimilate the stress and trying to figure out a way to move forward from this. And you just want to, depending on what are the placements here in your chart, you want to pay attention to, like, if you may end up feeling kind of guilty about something. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we have in your challenge position the Eight of Cups reverse. So the Eight of Cups reverse tells me here, you know, um, fully learning from the past, right? But this is your challenge right now. So you're having a really hard time learning this past lesson and really absorbing it. It was almost like somebody coming in and saying, please, give me another chance. I'm going to be different. I'm going to figure things out, and it's like one side of you is like, "Ugh, I know it's just always going to be this way." Then another side of you is like, oh, but they seem really sincere. I don't know. Maybe I'll give them another chance. It's a tricky energy. It just really is. But you're going to be confused because then we have the Two of Wands here in the near future. Now, this really is a very good energy. And but this, because you're definitely wanting to make plans, you want to move forward. This does indicate partnership, for sure. For some of you, this could indicate a new romantic partnership, possibly through work or friends. Overall, this is a great opportunity, allowing you to move forward. But at the same time, there are two. So it's like there are two aspects of a situation, and you have to figure out which path you can take that's going to absolutely, either, if it has to do with career, maximize your skill set. If it has to do with relationship, bring you the happiness that you're really looking for. But it's that two, and each one represents a path. And the final outcome energy is the Nine of Cups, which is about wish fulfillment, happiness, manifesting. For some of you, a new romance. Others of you may just be making some really amazing connections right now, great friendships. Just feeling more connected to your own heart. This is a time for growth, right? Because it's Jupiter and Pisces energy. Jupiter is always about growth and old tensions dissolving. Just, again, into like waters from the past, right? Just really being able to go after what it is that's going to be speaking to you most. And again, let's go back to the moon energy here. It's time to release the negativity in your life. You don't want to deal with that anymore. You just want to be, your happy Leo self. So that's what I have for you for this general energies for the month of March. I hope that was helpful. But I will see you guys in a couple of days to do the regular tarot reads that I do, where I splice everything out and I pull more oracles and stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.